Hey guys, Swifty here talking everything Chicago Bears. Today we have a salary cap update as the post June 1st cuts have hit the books. Usually June 1st is a big cut day in the NFL, but other than Stephon Tuitt's retirement, the NFL has been completely quiet. This is probably the slowest stretch of the year from now until training camp. That is why I have my rookie breakdowns and some all 22s coming out for you guys to get you through this tough stretch before we see our guys in camp soon. With that being said, let's get into today's video. The Bears have moved up in the list as far as cap space. June 1st has come and gone, and the Bears now have added extra cap space from the moves they made earlier in the offseason. After the moves became official, the Bears are now top 5 in the entire NFL in cap space. With all the dead cap we have from Ryan Pace's tenure, plus Khalil Mack's massive dead cap hit, we have the most dead cap space in the entire NFL and somehow still have the 5th most cap space. What does that mean exactly? It means our active roster is the least expensive in the entire NFL. This is where the narratives come in, and everyone says we didn't do enough this offseason. When taking that into account, I can't argue that we didn't go all out this year, and we could have done more. But who was out there that you really wanted to overpay for this year? Jaguars spent around $20 million a season for Christian Kirk. Ugh. It wasn't a very good free agent class, and considering Fields has 4 years left on his rookie deal, this has always been an evaluation season. I don't want to compare us too much to last year's Bengals team, but we do share a lot of similarities as far as flexibility going into our quarterback's year 3. The Bengals were blasted last year for not spending tons of money in free agency on the offensive line and for drafting Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell. They went into this season with the most cap space in the NFL and were able to make 3 big-time additions to the O-line. The Bears will be in a very similar position next year. Young QB going into year 3 with the most cap space in the NFL. I do not expect us to make as big of a leap as the Bengals did last year, but a lot of luck went into that as well. I noticed it when the playoff schedule locked in last year. I tweeted about it a few times that the Bengals had the easiest path to the Super Bowl. They only had to beat the Raiders, the Titans, and only one of the Chiefs or Bills. They also had the benefit of getting the Chiefs-Bills winner after those two teams played each other, since he won the division in the last week of the season, but also had a ton of help. Things like Lamar Jackson getting hurt and the Ravens falling apart. If that doesn't happen, it's possible the Bengals don't even make the playoffs last year. All that said, the point I'm trying to make is we are evaluating what we have on our roster and trying to find long-term fits. I think we will be much more competitive than people think, and fans should be really excited about our future. Now let's look a bit at 2003 and beyond. This is 2023's salary cap. Let's look at our division rivals in the NFC North and compare our salary cap and flexibility moving forward to them really quick. So the Bears are number 1 by far with $99.6 million in cap space going into next year. Next up in our division is the Lions, all the way down at number 17 with only $12.3 million in cap space. After that is the Vikings coming in at number 20, who have $2.4 million going into next year, and then the Packers, all the way down at 25, who set currently negative $7.3 million going into next year, but we'll have to do some restructures to get under the cap. So going into 2023, we have $87 million more than any other team in the NFC North. That's kind of crazy to think about. All the negativity about the Bears this offseason, imagine if Ryan Poles does put out a good team. I think it's very likely that we surpass last year's win total. Will fans finally start to come around on Poles and Eberflus if they put out a competitive roster while giving us as much flexibility going forward as any team in the NFL? In my opinion, we have every reason to be optimistic, yet the media continues to paint a picture of the opposite. Imagine if we win 7 to 9 games this year, and then go into the offseason with the most cap room in the league by a large margin and have a young and upcoming roster with depth. Suddenly the media will be singing praise to Ryan Poles. Nobody holds them accountable. I have a perfect example for you. Almost everyone in the media chastised the Bengals last year for taking Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell. I heard over and over about how Burrow wouldn't have time to get it to Chase anyway, and that they should have picked Sewell. Those same people are now the ones saying the Bears didn't do anything for Justin Fields. It's a weird world out there, guys, and we're going to avoid these narratives here. We know Justin Fields has weapons on this offense, no matter what anyone tries to tell you. Every team in the NFL has needs. No team has a perfect roster. Everyone hopes their draft picks pan out. The salary cap and the NFL draft are built to help competitive balance in the NFL. The one single thing that makes or breaks franchises is the quarterback position. As Chicago fans, we have never really had an elite quarterback. Everyone is underestimating the impact that Justin Fields can have this season if he makes some key improvements. I'm not saying he's going to be a Pro Bowler yet this year, but if Fields is healthy, he will show fans why some of us are so excited about having him as our quarterback of the future. This is the year for Justin Fields to make his first big step towards becoming a franchise quarterback. Last year was a mess and a wash. Let's forget all about Matt Nagy's offense. Poles and company reset the roster and are building it from the ground up. If this team can be competitive with the lowest paid roster in the NFL, the sky is the limit for 2023 and beyond. Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham will be able to make some surprise trades or sign basically anyone they want in free agency and can add multiple starters. Flexibility is the key word. We will have all of our draft picks and the most cap space in the entire NFL. Another point about being top 5 in the NFL for this year is we can still make some moves before the season starts as well. Any surprise cuts in training camp or between now and training camp, or any surprise players on the trade block, lots of things can happen. Stay tuned. You know I will be here breaking down every move. Be sure to hit that like button for me, guys. And until next time, bear down.
I'm turned. Just know I'm coming with that energy. I'm really like that.
I feel like I'm, made for this. I'm built for this. So